Time now for an in-depth look at the market news this afternoon, and for that I'm joined on the line by Dr. Jun-sok, professor of economics at the Catholic University of Korea. Professor Yang, good to have you back on.
Happy to be here.
Well, stocks on Wall Street closed higher on Tuesday, led by tech shares, despite new lockdown measures in some states. Here in Korea, though, stocks did recover from their decline earlier in the session, but were basically flat. What's the story in the global markets?
Okay, well, as you mentioned, the U.S. had a fairly good day yesterday. Dow went up by 0.52%, NASDAQ went up by 1.71%, S&P was the big news. It went up by 1.05%. It snapped a four-day losing streak. According to the analysts, the buyers waited until S&P fell by about 10%. Then after it fell by 10%, they started buying again. So the move seemed to have been strategic. But again, if you look at most of the news that's coming out of the United States concerning the near future economy, they're not good. The Fed Chairman Powell has said that he sees deceleration of the economy ahead. And I think that's giving the ideas to the investors that the Fed, even though they did reconfirm it last week, that they will maintain very low interest rates until at least 2023. That's encouraging them to put money into the stock market. So the discontinuity between the real economy and the stock market seem to be continuing. The European markets, following the U.S. markets, also did fairly well, rising about 1% more or less, depending on the market. Hong Kong and Shanghai, they held level or did slightly well. Hong Kong went up by 0.079% today. Shanghai went up by 0.17% today. Japan, Nikkei was practically the only major market that did not do well. It fell down by 0.059%. And as you mentioned, Kospi went up slightly. Kospi up by 0.03%. Kosdaq up by 0.09%. And for Kospi, virtually all individuals, institutions, and foreigners on the net, they ended up selling rather than buying, but still the market index was level.
Well, now, shares of Tesla were down on Tuesday, though it was the long-anticipated battery day. Elon Musk and others unveiling the company's plans for new kinds of batteries, which will be a lot cheaper, too. They said there's also the interesting case recently of the electric truck company Nikola, which has been accused of fraud and whose CEOs quit. So a lot of interest in EVs these days. What stands out to you about these, Professor?
Okay, well, Elon Musk did make a lot of promises. I think the market is discounting a lot of it because, well, even though he did fulfill a lot of his promises, those promises were fulfilled later than the dates that he indicated in the past. So I think they're discounting some of the announcements that he's making, but he did make a lot of very interesting announcements. Even if they're late, if they are fulfilled, it should spell out some really interesting changes in the automobile market and the electricity distribution market. Elon Musk said that he should have a completely self-driving car by next month. Perhaps not for sale, but still for a demonstration model. And there would be an affordable model available in 3 years. This completely self-driving electric car should cost around $25,000. Then he went into details about what this new type of batteries that they're working on. They're working on a terawatt-hour scale battery, and the price of battery can be down as much as 50 to 60% from current prices. That's partially due to new processes that they are researching, and cell design and higher density cells, which will allow better, more efficient batteries. So the driving distance of self-driving electric cars would be up by 54%. Cost would be down by 54%, and investment costs would be down by 69%. And he defined affordable cost of battery as being $100 per kilowatt hour, and that should be achievable by 2023. If these type of batteries do become available, then that's good news not only for electric cars, but also things like renewable energy. One of the big problems with power generation in general and renewable electricity generation in particular is that they're very variable. For example, solar energy, on sunny days you generate a lot of energy, but on cloudy days they don't. If you can store some of that energy from sunny days to use on cloudy days, that would help the use of renewable energy a lot.
Yeah, and the issue of cost continues to come up. Really, it seems like the main issue. How will Korean companies fare in competition based on price?
Okay, well, Korea is actually up ahead of the United States when it concerns these type of battery technology. The United States seems to be actually ranked 5th in the number of battery-related patents that they have. The first is Japan, second is Korea, third is European Union, and fourth is China. And Tesla has said that they will buy more batteries from Panasonic of Japan, LG Electronics of Korea, and CATL of China. So that actually drove up the LG Electronics stock prices today. And in terms of company owning patents from 2000 to 2018, the top patent holder is actually Samsung. So Korea is very well positioned in terms of batteries, and if the efficiency and cost of batteries can be brought further into line, batteries have as bright a future as semiconductors did about 20 or 30 years ago.
That's a fascinating prospect. Professor, thank you so much for coming on today. We appreciate it.
Thank you.